folks, how y'all doing? Trent Clark here with Mallet Builders. We got talking about permits today. Let's get the show started. Like always, we want to show you where is Mallet. We got 79 jobs, give or take. Well, give probably more than that, but 79 jobs across Texas and Louisiana this week. Just goes to show you all the logistics we got going on, all the coordination we got going on, all the customers that we are having to service. See, because when we build your building, when we erect your building, it doesn't just stop there. We have to form it, we have to pour the concrete, we have to put the gutters up. If you have electrical, we got to do that as well. So there's all kinds of stuff going on in the process. In Louisiana, we got 55 jobs going on. Anywhere from in construction, going on the ground, forming jobs, waiting on sand. What does that mean, you might be asking? Waiting on sand. So how that process works right here, we're waiting on sand and then they form. So what happens is we got a coordinator that goes out to your property and he's going to check the building out and he's going to take sand measurements. He's going to come back and he's going to give us that sand measurements, and we're going to and communicate those measurements to you at home, and then you're going to let us know when you get that sand. As soon as you get the sand, and we're talking about fill sand here so we can form up and get ready for concrete. As soon as you get that in, you send us a picture, we verify if it's dry, we go out there and we form your property up. So that's what that is. And then all the concrete we're pouring this week, you know, and then we got red tags. Red tags may be stuff like the builders put your window in and then, you know, they had a little crack in it, so we got to do a warranty situation on that. It could be a doorknob problem we got to go back and fix. But all that is relative to in construction. You know, I wish things could go perfect, but they don't usually do. And in Texas, you got 25 jobs. Same thing happening here, you know, from gutters to forms to concrete to erection of the building to delivery of your building. So that just goes to show you where all we're at. All right. Now, why Mallet? Okay, so you know that we have 3 buildings. We got the Classic, the Signature, and the Elite building. That is a Mallet-made building. Mallet made and built. All right. We came out with the Rival series because we have some people out there that might want to go the cheaper route. Okay, and yes, I did use the word cheap because that's what it is. It's not quite a Mallet building, all right? But you want to go the cheap route. Why do I say that? Because you got 29 gauge metal. On our very lowest Classic building, we're going to use 26 gauge metal. On the Rival series, and we did this to be able to compete with the low price or the cheaper buildings that our competitors put out there, and for you people that are out there that might not really care for the best building in the country. All right, so you got 2x6 trusses, all right, on the Rival. We're going to have 2x8. You got common flat trusses, and it's standard at Mallet to get scissor trusses, which, you know, all of our competitors got to buy their truss, so they're going to have to pay more for that, and which you would have to pay more for that. But when you buy a building like the Rival, it's going to come, you know, with common truss, which is going to give you not as much head height in your building. It's going to be 130 mile an hour wind rating, no uplift control. That is our Mallet cable lock system, okay? And that is our aircraft cable that ties all the posts together, and it sits underneath your slab. The dead weight of that slab holds all your building intact when that wind comes through. Rival doesn't have it, and neither does any of our competitors have it. But when you bump up to the Classic building, you're going to have that. And you're talking about anywhere from anywhere from $2,000 to $3,500 between the things. So I don't know why you wouldn't go here, you know, because on the Rival you get 2x8 headers. Over here you're going to get 2x12 headers. You're going to get 3,000 PSI concrete with our competitors and the Rival building. Whereas standard over here, you're going to get the 4,000 PSI concrete, which is all the items that we put in our building are a lot stronger than what our competitors are, what we put into the Rival building. Okay, skirt board guards. That's just going to keep, you know, your skirt boards from contact with the concrete. Because you remember, when you're building post-frame construction, your skirt boards, or the bottom girt board, becomes your that's going to be your form board for your concrete. That's how that works. 4-year workmanship warranty over here. Over there, you really don't get too much warranty from our competitors that we've seen, and you got a limited warranty. Most of the competitors are going to use number 2 grade lumber. We use all number 1 grade, which is one. It's probably, I know it's over 30% stronger just in the wood. So you can imagine how your building's stronger. If you use good product, your building is going to stand the test of time. We use all MCA ground treated lumber, all kiln dried lumber at that. In-house engineering, design, verified internally. What that means is, like I spoke of before, we engineer that building for you. We build our own truss. We stamp the truss and we stamp the building together. Whereas our competitors are going to buy the truss somewhere else, and usually you might be getting a wind load off of what the truss says and maybe not what the building says. So be aware out there. Like every day, we want to start out with a $500 discount to our healthcare worker, first responder, military personnel, and educators. If you're one of those people looking for a building, make sure you get your extra $500 off. And while you're at it, you can get an extra $1,000 off if you want to upgrade to a signature or an elite building by typing cash to a live stream just like this one. All right, January specials and promotions. We are running you will notice these buildings. I got 3 different size buildings. And well, let me just start. You got a 30 by 50 by 12 for $43,998. You got a 40 by 50 by 14 for $53,958. You got a 40 by 60 by 16 for $62,598. Now, this price, you're also going to get limited time. You're going to get height adjustment on these buildings, and you're going to get a gable extension, a 10-foot gable extension. So what that means is, with these buildings, you're going to get a 10-foot gable extension, which looks just like this building, basically a little porch in front of your building, and you're extending the gable. So when you're talking about a gable extension, you're basically just extending the gable. This is what we call a gable in the construction business, right? And if you got a wing, it's going to be on the eave side. But on this special, you're getting a gable extension. And then if you notice, you can change if you wanted a 30 by 50 by 16 with this price. That price is not going to change. Normally it would. Normally there's a adder with that, right? Because you go up, you got more material. The builders cost more, workman's comp. The higher you get, everything costs money. But in these 3 buildings this month, we're giving you your size option, or your height, and a gable extension, okay? This is all premium feature. This is an elite building. This is the best building in the country, folks. You're going to get 6-inch. I'm going to go through the main things here. You get a 10-year workmanship warranty. You're going to get post protection. You're going to get roof and wall insulation. You're going to get 6-inch concrete in these buildings. That is 2.5 times stronger than 4-inch concrete, okay? This is the elite building. You're going to get gutters. And like I said, this is the best building in the country right now. And those 2 items are included in that price. Remember, all of our buildings are standard scissor truss, cathedral type ceiling when you walk in there, with a 5-on-12 roof pitch. Nobody does that, folks, except for us here at Mallet. Also, we got the Cajun Oasis. This is the classic building. This is our lowest tier in Mallet, but it's still our competitors' best building. Don't even stand up to these buildings. Why? Because they got the 2x8 scissor truss standard, okay, on this classic building. Right now, you can get this 30 by 50 by 12 for $49,999. Now look, that's going to come with a air condition and a basic electrical package. When we're finished this building, you simply get the power hooked up, because we did all the inside of your building. Turn that light switch on, turn the AC, or right now the heater on, and you build that building however you want on the inside of it. But the bulk of the work will be done. Same thing on this elite, best in the business here. This is the same building, 30 by 50, except it's an Elite. You're going to get the 6-inch concrete, the gutters, the whole 9 yards, all the bells and whistles with the best building in the country, the Elite series from Mallet, and it's $59,999. Okay, remember that is climate controlled, which means that you're going to have insulation, you're going to have air conditioning, and you're going to have basic electrical package in this building. Great, great, great product. You could turn it into a home office, a gym, he said, or shed, a kitchen, whatever you want, or just a shop, an air-conditioned shop to put your nice boat in. You can do that with this building. Both of these are a $10,000 value that we're adding to these buildings, folks. Very important. Let's go over the 5 red flags, okay? Because we still have, if you're out there shopping, okay, I think it's very important. We here at Mallet think it's very important for you to understand the 5 red flags. Number 1 is years in business. If you're out there shopping, folks, don't it make sense to find out how long these people that you're shopping with been in business? Look, I think it's a red flag if you go to the Secretary of State website and they don't even pop up. That means, number 1, they don't even have a business. They're not even registered, okay? So that'd be a major red flag. But look, if they only been in business for a year or 2, most businesses don't last. So if they tell you they're going to give you a 10-year warranty to try to compete with us, I don't see how they're going to do it. Because most of our competitors, I know a few this year that's already went out of business. I'm not going to name them, but they've already went out of business, folks. And they're back at old games taking people's money. So be very, very cautious out there. But where you start is the Secretary of State website to find out how long they've been in business. That would be a great start, and that's our number 1 red flag. Number 2 would be to find out about if they have the proper licensure. Look, you can go to the LSLBC website and find that information out. You can find out if they are a contractor in fact. If they're not, that's a red flag, okay? That same website for number 3 red flag is any violations. Most of our competition out there, folks, have violations. I am very proud that in 26, 27 years now that we had no contractor violations. That says a lot about a company, especially for 27 years, and especially of all the buildings that we built. You know, I'm proud of that, and that's why I want to talk about it here all the time. Because if you're shopping out there, to me it makes sense to go with a company that's going to be there for you. Be careful out there. Yeah, are we perfect? I'm not saying we're perfect, but I am saying that we're going to fix whatever we mess up, and we will do that. And that goes to show you with the reviews that we have. We have over 650 reviews. There may be a few negative reviews on there. I'm talking about a few out of 650. And if you read, there's always a different side of every story. And on all our reviews, we make sure that we go and post that so you, the consumer, can make your own decision of what you see there. But the contract, make sure they don't have any violations. And look, I'm not saying you can't give these people a chance. If you want to be the guinea pig and give somebody a chance, make them tell you that they've been convicted of a violation. If they do that, then maybe they're trying to turn the page here. All right, and then I just spoke about this, but the BBB and Google, we have a lot of reviews, folks, a lot. I just spoke about that, so I won't repeat myself, but well, right here is 685 now, plus reviews on the BBB and Google. So I'm proud of that, folks. Visit the contractor's facility. We're building a roll form plant here. If you talk to Lee, it will be up and ready in about 60 to 90 days. And I hope he's right, but I think it might be a little bit longer than that. But I'm pushing for it. I really am. We're waiting on electrical right now, and we'd love for you to come visit us. Even if you building with us before, come visit. Come look at some of this new metal that we're going to be using. We already got one machine that we can roll out with now with this board and bat. It's a concealed fastener. What that means is you won't be able to see any of the screws. Very, very pretty. I mean, it's unbelievable of what we're going to be able to do. It is going to cost a significant amount of more money, but it's a lifetime. I mean, you just need to come look at it. Okay, so visit the contractor facility. We'd love for y'all to come by and visit us. We show you all the product that we have here. You know, our truss plant and the soon upcoming roll form plant. Now let's talk about the permits for post frame builders in Iberia Parish. Okay, where to apply? Iberia Parish Permit Office. It's on Weldon Street in New Iberia. Okay, there's the phone number, and they're open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4. And you can look them up, and you can actually, looks like you can submit it through the website. But let's see. Requires submission part 1. What you'll need to submit: building permit application, project description and estimated cost, ownership information. Okay, folks, let me tell you something. If you're out there getting a permit, if you give them our contract, that's got the dollar amount on there. Okay, it sounds harder than what it really is, but they got paperwork. You just fill it out and submit it. If you need help, we'll be glad to help you. Okay, but and basically ownership information. Part 2, you're gonna mostly show property line and dimensions. So you have to have an overview. If you don't have somebody draw these up, you can print it off of Google. As long as you draw in the lines and put some type of dimensions on there, that is acceptable. Easement and servitudes, driveway and access, that picture is going to show that, or you can simply draw it in. It doesn't have to always be professional. You know, when I was building houses, I mean, I would put a site plan and I'd draw a box where the house was going to be. They just want to see where it's going to be on your property. So you'll have to have a dimension, say from the road. Say if you're going 40 foot back, 100 foot back, that's what they're looking for. You can just draw a box where the shop's going to be. You know, it doesn't have to have, you know, everybody thinks it's got to be all professional. You can draw this out on a piece of paper. Okay, driveways and access, exit structures, proposed building footprint. That's what I just talked about. You can just draw it out and put the size. So if I'm building a 30 by 50 shop, you're going to draw a box back there. You're going to say that it's 100 foot from the road and it's a 30 wide by 50 tall. I mean, by 50 long. Boom, you're done. Okay. Requires setbacks. That's basically what I just talked about. Okay. Part 3 are plans and engineering. Dimension, floor plan. If you're going to have something inside, if it's going to strictly be a shop, it's easy. It's a shop. Okay. Front, side, rear side elevations. We give you that information. All you got to do is submit it. Post embedment or foundation detail. We give you that information. It comes in your design approval plans. Roof type and material. Door and window sizes, if any. And it's that simple, okay? Flood zone property may require elevation. This is where it gets kind of tricky. If it's really just a shop, they're probably not going to require any elevations. Now, if you're trying to do something else with it, where it's going to have a restroom or something like that in there, you may have an elevation requirement. And what that's going to do is they're going to go out there and they're going to mark a stake and say, okay, the top of your slab needs to be like this. That information is very important to let us know that when our builders go out, the first document you sign with us is building placement and elevation. That's when you need to tell them about that, because if you don't and we build the building, it's going to be too late. We'll have to take that building apart at your cost and move that thing up. So it's very, very important to just don't overlook this kind of stuff. If you have an elevation, that set elevation that you need to be at, you have got to let us know that. We won't know that because you're pulling the permit. There's a few other opportunity I'd like to talk to you about. I think I'm going to see it in a minute. Zoning, setbacks, placement. We talked about that. Contractor's license depending on project value. owner builder may need additional documentation, and they'll let you know. Okay, don't get stressed out about it. They're going to let you know if you need something else, and if you need something from us, we have Daryl. You meet him on Mondays. We can always get that for you. Review time, 5 to 10 business days. Okay, I haven't seen them take that long, but sometimes they will. Inspections required during construction. This is what I want to talk about. Okay, so most people, when they're building a post frame or a barn in the backyard, they don't want to pay us to be the contractor on record. And that's okay, because you're going to save 15 to 20%. Depending on where you are, it may be a little bit more. And that's perfectly fine. But let's understand something. When you go get your permit, okay, this is the process we're talking about. If you're required to, inspections required during construction, if you're required to do that, they're going to give you a checklist. Okay, don't just put that checklist aside. You have to let us know here, because we're erecting that building. We're going to pour your concrete. You have to let us know if you have that, because what you don't want to do is you don't want to, because we're going to schedule. You remember all those jobs that I showed you earlier? Over 90 to 100 jobs a week that we got going on. You know, we pour five or so buildings a day. We're pouring the concrete. It's up to you, the homeowner, to let us know if you need to get an inspection done before you pour your concrete. Okay? Now, we have some checks in place right now to try to help that. But if you have a checklist from your permit office and you know you need that, we're going to ask you to send, before we pour your concrete, we're going to ask you to send us the green tag that you're going to get prior to pouring your concrete. That way we know that you did everything right. But sometimes, you know, our double check doesn't fall through, so make sure that if you have a checklist that you're in tune with what's going on. Okay? It's not the end of the world, but you can save a lot of problems if you do it properly. Okay? And that's the part I wanted to talk to you about right there. Building without a permit can result to fines. All right? Also, going to the step prior to the inspection can cause problems. Sometimes we can help you get out of it, but sometimes we can't. And you know, a lot of people think that they can, you know, that they can get a shop, and right before they pour concrete, you can put a bathroom in it. Well, let me tell you, maybe some places you can get away with it if you don't have an inspection requirement. But if you do, and you do that, they're not going to allow you to pour the concrete. I'm just letting you know. Okay, so it's best, the point I'm trying to make is it's best to devote all this information up front from the very beginning. That way you have no complications through your build process. Okay, call permit office before submitting, verify flood zone early, and don't start construction without approval. Okay, that's our little show today, folks. Let's talk about the Ambassador Club. So we have ambassadors out there that can show you their building. They can actually talk about our building. They can even get you set up to buy a building. All right, and we have very good ambassadors out there. Mr. Tim's usually here. Yes, he's here today, and we're starting to gain very, very knowledgeable ambassadors of Mallet Buildings that can speak very well about the products that we put out there, and they're willing to show you their building. They're willing to talk to you about you know, how their build went. So take advantage of that. If you want to talk to a Mallet ambassador, make sure you let one of our building specialists know, and we would definitely hook you up with that. If you are a person who purchased a building for us and you're not in our ambassador club and you want more information, let us know, and we'll certainly like to get that information out to you. That's our show today, folks. We really appreciate your business, and we'll see you tomorrow.